Hi, I'm Bill Hodges, and Colin Howgill published a really nice piece on Bob Hope, which talked about the many Christmases he gave up to be with our troops for so many years. And it reminded me of an opportunity I had at the Century Plaza Hotel in Hollywood to not only have lunch with him, but to have lunch with Milton Berle. Berle was the entertaining person for this particular convention, and I was one of the speakers. So I had a seat right up front, and he was going through his act, doing a great job, and it got down to a point where I had to get up. I had to go to the restroom. There wasn't any staying there. But again, being in front, I really didn't want to do that. So I waited until the applause began. And when the applause began, I quickly jumped up, took 2 steps to the left, coming the other direction, and it had nothing to do with me. A waiter tripped, and when he fell with a cake right in the middle of the seat that I had just vacated. Well, everybody stopped to see this, including the applause for Milton Berle, and that didn't make him real happy. So he did his things with his ankles, and he came down. He said, "You're the luckiest man. I got to shake your hand." And he just took the crowd back over again. And it was great. But when he got to me, I told him, I said, "Look, I want to shake your hand because I've just finished reading Sammy Davis Jr.'s autobiography, and he talked about what you did with the man in Miami Beach. There was a sign the guy was holding, 'Nigger on the beach.' Berle got out of the limo, walked around, and flattened the guy, allowing Sammy to get out of the car to applause and go on into the hotel." And he said, "Oh, you read that?" And I said, "Yeah." He said, "Well, we're going to have lunch tomorrow. Are you going to be in the hotel still?" I said, "Sure, I'll be here." He said, "Well, at noon, go down to the dining room, the main dining room, and tell them you want a seat at my table, and I'll meet you there." Well, about 11:45, I got there early because I thought, well, I'm not going to miss him. But then again, I wasn't sure he'd even remember that he invited me. So I walked up to the maitre d', and the maitre d' said, "Yes, can I help you?" And I said, "Yes, my name is Bill Hodges, and I'm supposed to have lunch with Milton Berle." He said, "Oh, yes, Mr. Berle called, said to put it at his table, order anything you want, it's on him." And I thought, oh, he's not coming. And then the maitre d' went on to say, he may be a couple minutes late, but he will be here. Well, at 12, right on the dot, here he comes. Walks through the door. I'm sitting so I can see the door. Walks over to the table, and I'm thinking, oh, I've got whole lunch period with just Milton Berle. And everybody knew him as Uncle Milty at the time. And he looked at me and he said, "Oh, I don't know if it matters or not, but I ran into a friend of mine in the lobby, and I've asked him to join me and you for lunch." And I thought, oh, I got to share him. And just then I see coming through the door, Bob Hope. And he says, "Bob Hope." And I almost said, "Oh my God, Bob Hope." And that would have been a faux pas, believe me. Hope came over. They both sat down. And for the next hour, hour and a half, they tried to one-up each other with the oldest vaudeville jokes you ever saw. They went through every routine, and my sides hurt so bad that I was almost screaming for help. But it was a wonderful experience. The both of them were just absolute gentlemen. Great time with them. One of those things that as a convention speaker, I got to meet a lot of people who were important, but to meet these two icons of the entertainment industry was one of the highlights of my career. So there's a story that I promised to tell that several of you asked me to tell. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll talk to you again soon.